Hello and welcome to Diamond Cast, the music show with Diamond Black. This week's a special one. We're joined by our friend and collaborator, Chloe Ozwell, just one day after filming the Fall Into the Silence shoot. We'll be talking about music, self-discovery, and what it's like to be part of a project that's so personal. From Chloe's musical journey to what went down on set, this is for those who love behind the scenes, the collaborators, and the fans who make it all worthwhile. Let's get into it. Welcome to the second real-life Diamond Cast.
Yay!
Hooray!
Yes, hands.
Today we have a special guest, Chloe Ozwell.
It's me!
Today we're going to be talking about lots of things about Chloe. We're going to be talking about the Fall Into the Silence video shoot, which we just completed yesterday.
Right.
Yeah! Woo!
And
Rock and roll.
many more. Cool. So, yeah. How you're feeling?
Tired.
Yeah. That's why I've got sunglasses on today. We're very knackered. It was a long day, long shoot.
Knackered from shooting, but actually, like, just to be clear, not partying.
No.
This is not something we got back, what, 1 o'clock or something?
Oh, yeah, something
Yeah.
after all the thing.
I
Half
feel
12.
like we're the least rock and roll people. Like, it's back with a cup of tea and a bit of toast and then to bed.
That's what we did last night. We just did that. It was really awesome. But yeah, no, it was really good. So Chloe, can you
Yes.
tell us a bit about yourself and what you do and why you're here?
Why am I here? Why is anybody here? Oh God, this is a really long story.
Go for it.
So I have been a musician since I was 7 years old. So I've been singing now for 25 years,
Nice.
which is mad. I'm like, when did I get this old, you guys? So yeah, my musical journey started when I was 7. Kind of worked my way through all of the genres. Started as a classically trained singer. Did classical for a little bit. Got up to grade 6 with my classical stuff. Then did a foray into musical theatre. Couldn't dance, slowly knocked that one on the head because of my 2 left feet. And then it wasn't until college I really made my way into alternative music. I had been listening to a lot of it. I've been listening to it since I was like 13, 14. But my voice, like I had been told from other people, and I kind of felt myself wasn't suited towards the genre at all. I was like, I thought I was probably going to go and be a pop singer or something a bit more commercial. And I got to college and it was the first time I'd ever played with other musicians. So I found myself absolutely loving it. I was like, oh my God, I can do this. This is going to sound great. I feel really at home being on a stage with other musicians and being able to bounce off them. And so I joined my first band, which was a little pop punk band. Very Paramore, very like cheesy pop punk. So that was my first band, and then kind of grew out of that a couple of years later and started start that again, Sister Shotgun, which was the band I was with for 12 years. Sister Shotgun's a band that I say I founded. The start of this band was pretty complicated. So this band existed in the form of a tribute band before I joined. And a bunch of guys got together, was going to do just a load of like 80s covers and stuff like that, but they couldn't find a singer. And I was recently out of a band. And I was like, I'll do it. And there was obviously trepidation from them because they were like, how weird is it going to be having a woman sing Girls, Girls, Girls? And I'm like, well. And so I really pushed. I pushed and pushed and pushed for an audition. And they finally caved and let me audition. And so I did. And then the next practice, one of the members decided like he just wasn't going to turn up and that was going to be it. And that was his journey done. He was like, there's a girl in the band, fuck this.
Because you were a girl?
Yeah,
You didn't want to have a female singer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know.
But it makes so much sense because you can, all those 80s songs are really high as well. So then
right,
it's probably quite hard to find a male singer who can do that 80s stuff.
Yeah.
And it's quite a niche as well. Like, people will go and see a cool girl singing like the 80s songs, like girls. Of course, a girl can sing girls.
Right.
You don't think girls don't go to strip clubs?
Exactly. This was my thinking, but so he didn't show up, and honestly, good riddance. We were better for it. And then the next practice we all showed up, we just started writing, and this turned into, we were like, actually, let's make this an original project and kind of like sack off the whole covers idea. And we just started writing, and we were writing for a good year. Got some, like, you look back on your first ever songs now, and it's like baby's first songs, and it's like, oh God, the cringe, and like to see how far you've come from like those first songs. But yeah, we wrote a bunch of songs. We started playing live kind of around Birmingham, and then branching outside of Birmingham. And we've had like an amazing 12-year career together, which has been, there have been some crazy things that have happened, and I'm like, how the hell has this happened to me? I think one of which was getting a number 25 on the Billboard charts in the US for one of our singles, which was insane. Getting a picture of a store, Tower Records in Japan, where it was big picture of us and Tower Records kind of to promote our album, and I'm like, when did this happen? What is going on? And playing Bloodstock Festival at 11 o'clock in the morning to a packed out tent, 2,000 people in the tent. And we were very much like, if the tent is half full, we'll be so happy. And I walk out and there's this packed out tent, and I'm like, how the hell is this happening? How have people even heard of us?
It's amazing that they got for 11 o'clock as well.
Right. On a Saturday, I was like, if we get a few people in the tent, I'll be super happy to just say we've had this experience. And then come to find out, one of the members of Funeral for a Friend was in the audience, which was nuts. And yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy ride. And then most recently, I've decided to pursue a solo venture, which has been incredible and freeing, and this amazing creative journey for me of kind of like rediscovery of who I am as a songwriter, who I've become as an artist. And it's been really great to be able to flex those creative muscles without any restrictions, and just be kind of as free with it as I want to be. And now we're in talks to do super big things with this project. So
it's amazing.
It's been a long journey, but it's crazy to just look back and reflect on how far I've come throughout the whole 13 years I've really been doing this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Impressive.
Can you give us a bit of a teaser as to what the album might be about, or what the kind of style of music it is?
Yeah, so the album is, it's a reflection on past relationships, some of which were a little bit toxic, some of which hurt me in a lot of ways. But I found, I think, a way to express that in a way that doesn't feel painful for me to listen back to, or it feels a very healthy way to get this message out. It's not bashing anybody. It's not throwing anybody under the bus. It's just kind of a look back and a revisit of where I've been at particular spaces in the past 2 or 3 years of my life. So that's kind of like an overarching theme of the album, but some of the songs are so fun as well, that it's not going to be like a breakup album or something like that. There's some real fun party songs on the album. And that was something I was really determined to do with this project, was to bring the fun. I feel like with Sister Shotgun, I was so consumed in we have to be such a serious band. This is such a serious thing to do that I kind of almost lost the fun of it. And music is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be joyful. And that's really what I'm trying to do with this new album. It's meant to be a mix of the 90s pop genre with metal, which in itself sounds absolutely ridiculous, but believe me, it works.
It's like my two favourite genres.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, because 90s music, and I grew up with like 90s pop music, like Steps, Spice Girls, like it's become such a nostalgia trip for me to go back and access these bands and artists that I loved back when I was super young, and listen back and be like, oh, this was cool. We can emulate this and we can add this to, you know, what would happen if we stuck a gnarly guitar breakdown in the middle of something like that. And it's been a really exciting process. It's been really, really fun.
It's great. It sounds also like something that loads of people are going to feel that nostalgia trip on.
I hope so.
Going to resonate with, because as you mentioned about the sort of catharsis of the breakup song not being, not throwing anyone under the bus. So it's sort of joyful, brings that back to people.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like it's going to resonate really well with people for those both those reasons. So
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that's what everyone's sort of into, that kind of thing right now. Nostalgia's massive.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And I think it's, from a business sense, it's good to try and capitalize on that while it can. And we're even seeing like such a big resurgence of like dance metal come back into the scene with bands like Electric Callboy and Baby Metal that are bringing this electronic dance pop metal into the scene, and it's become so popular. People are really resonating with that.
Sounds amazing. What do you guys think?
Well, what you played us yesterday sounded amazing, and there was no question that there was a lot of metal in there as well.
There was, yeah, a little bit that took you by surprise.
Yeah, so yeah, the heaviness of the instrumentation, the music and the musicianship and the production was it was full on, with loads of melody and loads of catchiness. So, and it was in shuffle as well, so that was kind of a cool feel. Kind of, yeah, really,
it's an
really good.
interesting feel, right? It kind of has a very, I always think of it as being very circusy. Every time I listen to the song, and I'm like, oh, this is such a circusy vibe.
So, demonic circus.
Yeah. Evil circus.
Yeah, evil circus, fiendish circus.
Fantastic. So how did this collaboration come together? So Chloe and Diamond Black, how do you guys know each other, and how did the collaboration you've just done come together?
Well, we met at our show in Birmingham in 2023. And we just got chatting, and I listened to some of her stuff and recognised how good a singer she was. And at that time, we really needed someone to sing a load of female vocals on the Diamond Black stuff. So it just seemed like a really natural thing to do, that she was so clearly so talented. And from the chat we had, she was really nice and kind of approachable. And then it just felt really good to be able to say, hey, let's do this musical thing together. And she came and did the backing vocals on a bunch of the tracks, Dark Anthems, Fall Into the Silence. And it worked really, really well. It was so quick that it was almost like, well, we've done all the bits now. What do we do now? Because she was just so quick at getting the parts and so accurate. And usually when I record vocals, whether it be for myself or backing vocals, I'll do like for each part, maybe like each verse, I'll do 5, and then you can go through and choose the best lines. But with her, it was like all the lines, all 5 times are amazing. So I don't really know what to do. So should we just do some more for fun? Yeah, okay. And so we started experimenting with things as well, because there was the time and space to do that. Because she was just like an app. You could go sing this, and sing the thing.
I wish.
Just like
an AI.
It was just a really constructive and great process. And I think we only meant to do 2 songs, but then because we'd done so well, we did a few more. So yeah, and then when it came to releasing this song, initially it was just going to be a sense of, well, even when we recorded it initially, it was going to be a sense of Chloe's just doing a backing vocal. We need high parts of all the choruses to make them sound even bigger, so let's do that. And then during the session, because she was so easy to work with, and so she was so good at just doing new ideas, that then it became more creative. So she became a bit more featured in the track rather than simply a backing vocal. So when it came to actually releasing the song, because her voice was so present, it felt like this is something we can actually lean into, this idea of collaboration, because her voice is prominent on the song. And in retrospect, I do wonder if had we known that, it might have been even cooler to go, hey, why don't you sing the entire middle section? That could be your bit as a lead vocal. But we didn't.
There's always other songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we played live together before. So.
Yes, exactly. And
oh yeah, tell us about that, because there's a video that Charlie shot, which is of you playing live together, which we've been using as promo for this.
That's right. Yeah. So when we were on the tour at the beginning of 2023, Chloe came and actually performed with us in Wolverhampton at KK's Steel Mill, which is not too far from where you live. And that was exciting because we'd never even rehearsed. We just
did it on the fly.
Yeah.
We did one sound check and then went straight for it.
Yeah, and we were super ambitious with everything as well, because it was all wireless mics and in-ear monitors and everything, just so that you could perform feel the most free and performative.
And just went for it. And I don't think many people know who actually at the KK Steel Mill gig that was not rehearsed.
Not even slightly. And in fact, he dropped on me 2 minutes before they went on stage. Oh, by the way, do you want to sing the whole midsection of this song?
Oh yeah, I did that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Put you out of the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good job at work well under pressure, really, isn't it?
Well, I knew you could do it. I knew it would be no issue. So
this is a running theme, I think, with this whole weekend, is that Chloe's really easy to work with.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's so good to hear, though. That's something I try and make my mission is I want to be as easy to work with as possible. I never want to make anyone's jobs harder or lives harder.
You actually make them easier. You don't just not make them harder. You make them easier.
So nice to hear.
And that's why you're successful. That's why you're doing what you're doing now, because of this can-do yes light.
I think we need more of that kind of in the industry. I think when egos get in the way, it just makes everybody's life miserable. Again, for me, because this is so fun for me, even though it is part of my job, I want to find the joy in every little aspect of it. Like this, even doing the podcast, all of this is so fun for me. I never feel like I'm working. And I want that to be how everybody else that I'm working with feels as well. Like I want us to feel like we're playing, like we're having fun, and not that this is really thankless work, you know.
Oh, it never is doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's always fun. It's pinch yourself, think this. I can't believe this is my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think you all think that.
Yeah. Very lucky.
Yeah. So how did yesterday come about? So yesterday we filmed the Fall Into the Silence video, and we all went to studio Tasma Studios Studios in Exeter, and we've been there all day filming. So do you want to give a little bit of a brief summary of what happened and how that?
Sure. Everyone's looking at me.
The star.
Chloe, you were invited to join the shoot by Diamond Black, and at some point there was some sort of agreement made where you were like, "Yeah, I'm going to come and stay in this crazy house for people." Do it.
Well, so Ben initially pitched, where we were doing it, and I was like, I think you thought at first we were just going to go in, do the video and fly out. And I was like, I think we probably should stay over. I think we should probably get some sleep after the shoot, considering this is a very, very long drive. And so I was just thinking we were going to get, bog standard travel lodge. And I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago, you were like, we're staying in an Airbnb. I'm like, this is fantastic. I just think for the social aspect of it and the fact that we've all been able to kind of hang out and chill in the same place instead of knocking on other people's doors, be like, hello, are you awake? This has been so great. Even for the creative side of things, it's been so great to have this space to play with. So yeah, Ben was like, we're doing this. And then I didn't really get the full details of everything probably until 2 days before. Just always away. And I this is how I love working in this industry sometimes. And yeah, I didn't realize it until you'd sent kind of the treatment for the video, just how big of a part it would have in the video. I kind of just thought I would do a couple of scenes where you could see my face where I was singing a little bit and that would be it. And he was like, yeah, by the way, you're doing this whole big narrative by yourself. And I'm like, oh, fantastic.
And you're the star of the show.
Yeah. And not only that, it's going to be on green screen. So you're going to interact with things that aren't there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Green screen's interesting, isn't it? Because, I sort of was a bit of a fly on the wall during this, and you have to use your imagination a lot.
Big time. Big time. Like crashing into walls that just weren't there. Having to use like these great miming skills that I had to just imagine that there was like this force that I just couldn't get through. It must have looked absolutely ridiculous though.
You look pretty cool. I think you look pretty cool. To be fair, I didn't come in for the mime bit though. You probably did.
Yeah, no, that was weird. You can ask Charlie about it afterwards.
Yeah. So that's good. So Charlie must have weaved a really intricate story for you to be able to act out against nothing.
Oh yeah, big time. Like he's been so wonderful to work with. And I think because I felt so comfortable, I could kind of allow my imagination to open up to where I was. And instead of just seeing the space as a space, I was kind of in my head mapping out actually where I was at any given time and how this would probably look in post-production. And so once you really start believing where you are and what you're doing, it makes it a lot easier to act out in the space and be really present with it. But it's not an easy thing to do.
What about you guys as musicians playing instruments in the green screen space? Was it slightly different for you because you had the instrument as a prop, or did you still have a similar?
I think the hardest bit for me doing the green screen was I had to stand on the spot and not move on the spot. So I'm trying to rock out as much as I can and normally spin around and do crazy stuff, but I had to keep my feet anchored.
If you couldn't even spin, you had to keep your feet. You didn't start standing on the same
top
spot.
off, but not the bottom off. Because I think when we get moved around in 3D space, it will look weird if our legs are not in the same place. I think that was the premise.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's right, rocking on the spot. Yeah.
With drums, it's easy because I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't have to go anywhere.
Just the top half moves anyway.
Yeah, just rock out and do some stuff. Plus, I've done it quite a few times with Charlie as well. So.
You have, haven't you? Tell us about your experiences doing videos with Charlie before.
Yeah, I think, I've done maybe, 6 videos with Charlie. Some of them with Esprit there. And I like working with him. So he's really professional and he guides me and us, the whole band, to what kind of like what his visions are. So yeah, it's very easy to work with him. Yeah. Like I said, I don't have to go anywhere. I just sit there and just rock out. That's it.
And you were filmed at the very first person of the day, the very first thing of the day, and the very last.
The very last as well. Yeah.
So
that was a long day for me. What did I do all day?
Yeah.
Sleep. Yeah. Not as much as normal. So you're awake.
Eat.
Actually, you slept more.
Yeah, I had to sleep for a change.
Yeah. There was this point, sort of towards the end of the evening, it was really tiring day, and Adam and Vincent were sleeping on the sofas, and I was like, "Some energy in this room. Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Wake up!" But no, they needed sleep. Like it was a really tiring day.
I think that was 11:30 already.
It was 11:30.
Yeah, it was late.
And there's still more to do. So.
Yeah.
There's still more to do.
No, as in there was at that time.
At that time.
Oh,
They
I
both
thought you
had
meant
to film their last
when
scene.
you hadn't finished. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we're all going back there today, guys. No, that's cool. So, Ben, what about you playing guitar and singing? Because you did both of those things. Route to the spot or moving, or what was your?
In the green screen, the same thing. So on the spot, similar to Adam. I think there were a couple of times where I just forgot that I had to stay in one space because you're so used to
film it again.
rocking out.
That's why it took so long for you guys.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you ever seen together, Ben and Chloe?
Not sort of, not really. We weren't physically in the same space, but the idea is later on it will look like there is a moment where. Well, it was your bloody idea, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. We were taking over. I felt so bad about it afterwards. I was like, I've literally just added a scene to a video that has really not anything to do with me. I haven't put it past anybody but Charlie. But here we are, we're doing it anyway.
So it's going to look completely different to what you expected the video to look like.
I'm excited. I didn't know about this.
Well, I think it's just like a moment where for one moment we're like in the same frame looking at each other and then it's just or something. But we'll see if it works because with the narrative of separate spaces, it may not work. But Ozwell seemed to think it was a good idea, so we've got to do it, really. So
I think it just brings everything together. Like it brings it all to like a nice conclusion where everything kind of comes back around.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
We will see. We will see.
Thank you so much for just being creative at like 9:37 p.m. Going, hey, maybe we could do this, which is really cool. Because at that level of fatigue at that point that everyone was having, for you to still be thinking creatively was really, really good.
I think once I get in that headspace of like creativity, I'm really like on a roll with it. I'm like, oh, we could do this. What about this? We should do this. And I think there were a couple of times when we were filming that I did that. I was like, what about this? What about this? And Charlie was all up for it. It's like, yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, you're in your element, and both of you. I've filmed a bit of both of you working together, and you seem to really bounce off each other well as well. So that was really good. Again, Charlie's also very easy to work with, so it's a great day all round.
Yeah. It was one of those where it's great to work with people when you feel creatively supported. And it's really easy to bounce off somebody and bounce ideas off each other. And I feel like that's very much where me and Charlie were with filming last night. We were just in that really cool space where you're just able to bounce ideas off each other, and like the creativity was just flowing 100%.
I think that comes from an element of establishing trust at the beginning, and then knowing that the other person's got your back creatively. So when you come up with something, they're going to either tell you if it's a good idea or entertain it, or also tell you if it's not a good idea and then change it without anyone feeling bad.
Yeah,
I think once you've established that trust earlier on, you can then that goes back to kind of being easy to work with, I think, and then having that openness, and that's sort of why you end up producing really good stuff, and then getting callbacks to do more stuff in the future, and then therefore building on success. I think, Chloe, you made a really good point last night when we were having tea before bed, was that you said about kind of building a foundation for a really long time in order to get success later.
100%.
Can you tell the audience what you said about, if you don't mind sharing it?
Yeah, so with where we're at with this solo project right now, it's kind of the realization of, I don't think people realize actually just how long it takes to really build a success with a music project. I think people assume like a band will be around for 1 or 2 years and then all of a sudden they're headlining Download Festival. And that's just not the reality. And so I kind of paid my dues since the start of Sister Shotgun, and it was like 12 years of me paying my dues, making contacts, networking, building a fan base. And it was 12 years of that, but because I've done that for 12 years, launching this solo project now is 10 months. It's been 10 months, and we've gone from conception of the project to now where we're in talks with labels. And that's 10 months of work because I did 12 years of work.
So it's not so what was the phrase about becoming an overnight success?
Yeah, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah. And it's 100% true. It is, because I think for a lot of people, when this project launches, I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, she came out of nowhere. And I'm like, if only you understood just what I had to do to come out of nowhere. You you pay your dues, you play to empty halls to no one, or the dads at the back at the bar that don't care. And then eventually, and I think a lot of this is about persistence, and I think people don't realize how persistent you have to be, and you have to have such a thick skin in this industry where you cannot let people get to you or break you. You really have to just kind of stay determined and on that track and be very one-track minded with it, and eventually you will get there. If you've got the talent, if the product is right, you will get there. But even if it's not, change it again, change your tactics. Which was a big thing I had to do when I felt like Sister Shotgun was kind of at an end point. I was like, well, how do I change my tactic now? Instead of going, we'll build another band again, I'm going to have to start from the ground up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let me think logically about this. How do I change my tactic now where I can make life easier for myself and I can still be successful? Instead of kind of taking that as a defeat, instead you just change course, you just change your tactic, and you carry on.
It's a really strong way to look at it. I think that's something that resonates with everything that Diamond Black talks about in the podcast as well, which is like how you react to things and how you make life as logically easy for yourself as you can rather than taking things to heart. I mean, you have a lot of
Yeah, I would say it's only over when you quit. That's another one. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's about not giving up. I'm sure in your 13-year career, there's a lot of frustrations and failures, but you just keep going, right?
Big time.
Well, yeah, I've been in bands over my time where other people in the band have looked at a successful band and gone, why are they successful? They're not very good. And it's because they kept trying and going and persevering and really believing in what they did, that then they got that success. Often is the case. That it's as you said, just the determination often is
and
what
being
will
adaptive and being lovely and being nice, and no matter what people throw at you, what life throws at you, you still got to be nice, and you still got to be humble and kind to everyone, even if you people are trying to take it away from you or whatever. You still got to be nice to them. So that must be hard.
It can be.
Must be hard.
It can be. I'm a very much I think most of the time I'm very much a kill them with kindness kind of person. Sometimes I'm not, but we don't talk about that.
Well, you've got to be assertive enough to kind of stand your ground as well.
Yeah.
Just be like, a pushover. So there's a fine line, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, me and Ben were having a conversation about this in the car. Within kind of the last year of discovering myself and really doing a lot of inner healing work, I've come to a point where I feel like I can advocate for myself now without being an asshole about it. But I can stand in my power and be like, this is how I see the vision. This is what I want. And be firm about it, but, still be nice to people about it. But I feel I have that confidence in myself now to stand my ground and to really be able to advocate for myself, which was something I probably couldn't even do a year ago. Which
That's
I think,
huge.
especially coming into this industry as full force as I plan to, I think is going to be something that's going to treat me well.
So you needed that realization over the past year in order to be able to prepare yourself for what's coming next.
Big time.
I guess that's a really good bit of advice for everyone as well, isn't it? Is kind of once you get to that stage. So if you're thinking, oh, why haven't I got this yet? Or why haven't I got to this part yet? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, there's something that you will learn that you will need to take into that stage with you. It's like a big quest. Like
it is. 100%.
Like Labyrinth.
100%. No, and not just in music, but I think in life. We're always on these little side quests where we learn these little lessons, and there's then you add some sort of self-discovery to that, or confidence, or you keep growing as a person, which I think as human beings, that's just a flipping cool thing to think about, how much we grow so much every day, every month, every year.
Every experience you have.
Yeah.
And if you notice something from that, you take something from it, then a lot of people will do these, have experiences and not notice anything.
Yeah.
And not take it and think, oh, I could learn something from this.
Absolutely.
Whereas even if something bad happens to you, it's what can I learn from this? Find the thing you can learn, and then you'll grow, and then it won't be such a bad thing anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, even in the moment, if you have to have that scream, cry, whatever, get it out of your system, then come back to the feeling and be actually, what did I learn from this? What can I take from this? How do I reframe this? Which again has been something that I've tried to do for myself. I'm such an overly emotional person that I guess in the past I've let my emotions take over when I've had knockbacks and disappointments and stuff like that. And now me being older and more comfortable in my skin and realizing who I am a lot more, I'm able to kind of maybe in the moment get that frustration out a little bit and then come back to it and be actually, no, this was a good thing because I learned this, this and this, and I can take this forward with me now.
Turn something negative into something positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's literally the theme.
That's the theme of our podcast.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's a nice sentiment. It's a nice sentiment to have channeled into today.
Yeah.
It's good, yeah. What this is too early to say, and you're prepared not to for it, so
hit me with it.
What will you take away from you from the last 3 days' experience doing this?
Oh, I think that I'm a lot more capable than I give myself credit for sometimes. I think going into the whole green screen thing, that was terrifying. I was I've never done this before. What if I fail? What if I mess up this whole video? And we got into it, and we were doing things in like 1 or 2 takes, and I'm like, oh wow, hang on, no, maybe I am kind of all right at this. Like, I need to give myself a lot more credit instead of being like straight away, I'm not going to be good at this, because a lot of the times you're a lot more capable than you think you are.
Yeah.
Good advice. Adam?
My takeaway from the shoot is don't forget to bring earplugs and your own pillow.
A 4-way.
Yeah.
And a 4-way,
Yeah, and a 4-way extension cable. Yeah. That's what I've learned about this experience. Because otherwise, I can't sleep, and then I get not the best mood in the morning.
That's what sunglasses are all about.
That's what the sunglasses are.
All right, Ben.
I think again a level of preparation could have been better. I did make a packing list spreadsheet, but right, I remember I forgot to check one of the most important things, which was my guitar strap. So one of the ends of it got broken at a previous gig, and I just hadn't bothered hadn't remembered. And so when I unpacked the guitar in the shoot, then we had to somehow fix one of the end of the guitar strap. Because
and you didn't you? Because Charlie built you some sort of contraption.
He did, yeah. So
me
brilliant. And I think I've learned about music videos over time is that I used to think that the detail of everything, like on the guitar, that every time every note that you play when you're playing onto the track has to be perfect. That the guitar has to be perfectly polished and everything exactly. The tuning takes have to be in the right place. And from doing a few videos and watching them back, that stuff you just never notice it. I mean, you'll watch some huge music videos and they haven't even got the cables in, and then things like that you just didn't notice because you're caught up in the action and the excitement of it.
It's like 3.5 minutes or something, and there's like 100 different takes and cuts and all stuff. So,
and so like the minutiae of those details of like losing sleep over. But when I did the guitar solo, I did the 14th note on the wrong fret.
I don't think I played any remote right.
There's someone at home that's going to watch it and go,
just analyse it now that you've pointed that out. Which bit was that?
I suppose if they do notice those things, then you're doing it wrong because you want people to be caught up in the excitement of the video and everything rather than the sort of specific details of stuff like that. So I hadn't checked the guitar strap. I just sort of packed it and gone, great. But I had managed to remember to pick 5 different gauges of tooth flossers, which was obviously very important.
Actual tooth flossers.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah, so...
Why so many gauges?
Because of the different cap sizes in one's teeth.
Okay, so one per tooth.
Well, sort of 5 different areas. But so I remembered those. Brilliant. That was all sorted.
But
the guitar strap,
I
not
noticed
so much.
something about you recently, like yesterday, is that you brush your teeth like 5 times a day. So it's probably something that's quite front of mind for you.
Yeah. I guess so. Especially because you're filming and stuff as well. I'm probably overthinking it, but yeah. So
you don't want to have garlic breath on film.
Exactly.
They might smell it.
So yeah, to maybe put a little bit more thought into the actual technical stuff rather than have I got the right scarf? Have I got 17 different scarves to choose from?
Or vest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or vests.
Okay, there wasn't much best action in the shoot, was there?
With the photo shoot.
Yeah.
No, there was a lot. Well, there's a good photo shoot. We did a good photo shoot. I was quite impressed with the photo shoot.
Yeah, we did a nice photo shoot.
Yeah.
Some cool shots on the stairs.
They're all so good at posing. Like, it's so easy to say. Any photographers want a really easy job. Shoot these guys. Like, they're just a dream to work with. You just have to press pause on a moment. That's it, and you get all these amazing pictures of them.
Well, I just find it stunning looking back just in the camera of what you've taken at the end of a shoot, and it all just looks almost like ready to go.
Professional, yeah.
And you're really good at capturing stuff. Whereas at the time, I always feel like, is this going to be good? We
feel like it's wandering around an industrial estate. Being like, let's stand by this box. And then let's wiggle on the film.
They all wanted to stand like on different like random rusty old steel girders, and I was like, no, we need you to have a good condition. So
because it was dangerous, so we end up like the peril
like a dirty old nail through your hand or something,
Yeah.
Anything.
Do that.
You still had like 5 hours of filming to do.
True.
Yeah, that is true.
We maximised our time, I think.
Yeah.
Even doing this cast as well. Maximise the time together.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I often feel with those shoots that we're just sort of standing there. Are we being good? Is this good? And I look back and then you've captured something amazing every time.
Look great.
Yeah.
Really
I'm
good.
glad you like them. We'll get them all out there. You'll see them over the course of the next few months, I'm sure. So Vincent, what did you learn about the last couple of days?
Well, the thing is, I've said before that I've done this, at least 5 or 6 times, but I always treat the project as something new, because the last thing I want is go in there and pretend like, I'm a professional. I've done this many times compared to you guys. So I'm just gonna act like I know everything. So completely the opposite. I see this as a new project, new people, and just learn from it and just get along and be nice. Really,
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
What was it like playing the drums with the same energy that you're supposed to bring at like the end of such a long day?
Well, the thing is, it actually wasn't that bad. Maybe because I just finished a tour. That as well. No, it wasn't that bad. I think we especially in the morning, we did, 5 takes. So it was kind of like I was still warming
You
up.
had to do it double speed as well.
I was going to say, how was doing double speed for you guys?
That was weird for me because there was no rehearsal. I was just imagining, okay, double time. Also, how am I going to do the field? But it was all right. It actually went well. There was no problem whatsoever.
I was like,
Actually, Ben came and talked to me after he came off stage doing double speed, and he was speaking at double speed.
That is actually true. No, you don't talk to me.
Absolutely.
Well, absolutely. Overdrive.
Yeah. Cool.
nice.
Good.
There you go. Thanks everyone for joining us on a very special edition of Diamond Cast with Chloe Ozwell.
Yay! Woo!
And Diamond Black.
Woo!
Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment and join in the conversation. Also join our Discord, because everyone on Discord is lovely and you get to see some really cool stuff like half the behind the scenes things that we were doing yesterday. And we'll probably do some polls or something on the way home. But yeah, last words.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
Making this happen for us. It's been such an incredible experience, and the song is also a really, really important song to us as well.
Yeah.
And it's been so exciting for us for the last sort of 4 singles that we've done, each video has had a slightly different vibe to it, whether it be a lyric video or a live video. This has got a completely different vibe to it as well, because we've got Chloe and we've got the kind of the green screen stuff. So it's been a really interesting and fun course of how things have gone. And thank you again so much for making this happen for us.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Bye.
If you enjoyed that episode of Diamond Cast, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. We are always keen to see new faces and the channel is growing. We are very excited to announce that we have just applied for monetization, which means we are finally going to make some money out of this. Well, maybe. We'll see how it goes. But thanks to you guys. Thanks to you continuously watching every week. Every year? It's almost been a year. It is a year since Diamond Cast started, literally last, I think it was the 28th of May, the first episode. Do give us a little like and a subscribe if you haven't already. And tell your mates to subscribe as well. And bring them in because you guys are so fantastic. And I know that you've all got some friends that will love Diamond Black. Leave a comment for Chloe. Follow her. She's brilliant. And yeah, we'll see you next week where we're going to be talking to Charlie, who made the video. A ta-ra for now.